During my hands-on session with Final Fantasy XVI, I find myself in the heat of battle against a giant winged icon, Garuda. It's a spectacle, with the massive summon towering over me and all but eclipsing the stature of protagonist Clive Rossfield. Garuda's wing-infused powers create a vortex that pulls me in closer, and her large talons swipe at me in different directions. Thankfully, as Clive, I can directly channel iconic abilities of my own in combat. During the demo, I have access to 3 different icon skill sets I can switch between using the real-time action system, including the powers of Garuda, which turn out to be very useful when I'm actually fighting her. After dealing a certain amount of damage, I put the special Deadly Embrace move to use, which acts as a grappling hook that pulls the mighty icon onto her side, clearing the way for me to deliver a flurry of hits. The impressive size of a Garuda and the flow of action completely absorb my attention, but just when I think the battle is winding down, everything shifts in a big way. After trading enough blows, a scene plays out that sees Clive awaken as the fiery devil-horned Ifrit. Now, I'm actually embodying an icon, and I immediately notice how different it is to control. The PS5's DualSense haptic feedback allows me to feel the heavy weight of the colossal icon as I lunge forwards. It's like something out of Attack on Titan, with 2 huge foes hurling their elemental powers at one another. The tail end of the battle between both icons plays out with a QTE sequence to see out the showdown, which also brings to mind the likes of God of War. It feels grand and cinematic, with an over-the-top showiness I love. This fight, and others I take on, perfectly illustrates the real-time action battle system of Final Fantasy XVI, which succeeds at being both approachable and satisfying. Prior to my big battle fight with Garuda, my first taste of Final Fantasy XVI's combat takes place in a garrison courtyard where the session begins. I use sword-based melee attacks at close range and fire out bursts of magic at a distance as I dive and dodge away from enemy hits. The different icons at my disposal include the powers of Garuda, Titan and Phoenix, with each offering a range of different powers with cooldowns, as well as a special ability or blocking move. I spend a good chunk of time playing around with the abilities and various combos, switching up icons to take out a group of soldiers. I make my way to the top of a tower to find Benedicta, who's a dominant. They're figures who can channel the power of an icon. I'm also alongside my trusty canine companion Torgal and Sidolphus Telemon, a prominent character in the world who serves as an AI party member. After taking down many soldiers in the vicinity, I come across some armoured foes who have a will gauge. Knock this down and the foes become staggered, meaning you can deal lots of damage in that moment. The real-time action system in Final Fantasy XVI may not be following the traditional turn-based route of many of the game's past, but thanks to its iconic abilities, magic and sword-based melee attacks, it has that signature Final Fantasy feel. What I appreciate most though, and what really sets this game apart from any of the previous Final Fantasy games, is the team's effort to make Clive's style of combat approachable. In order to cater to different players, rings, known as timely accessories, can be interchanged to support combat in various ways. This is great, so if for example you're a player that forgets to heal in the midst of battle, there's a ring that will automatically use a potion when your HP falls below a certain level. There's another ring that will also automate the actions of your dog companion Torgal in battle, so you don't have to think about giving him commands. So if juggling other party members and telling them what to do is something that really frustrates you about Final Fantasy games, you can equip that ring. With various combos to use in combat, there's also a ring that allows you to use complex ability combinations by simply pressing one button, which is a great accessibility option. Now, my personal favourite is the Ring of Timely Focus, which slows down time before an available attack to give you a chance to dodge out of the way using R1. So if you find it hard to dodge out of the way a lot of the time, this would be a perfect one for you. Again, there's a bunch of different rings here to suit different playstyles, so it's a really great option to add into the game. There are no difficulty settings in the game as such, although there is a story-focused mode that will equip different rings automatically for you from the get-go. Certain accessories proved to be a very welcome and useful boon that helped me in areas where I needed it the most, and I walked away from the session feeling like I could really master the combat and feel good doing it. As a combat-focused demo session, I didn't get to see much of the story, but it did give me the opportunity to experience how the battles play out within it. Cinematic cutscenes and fight sequences seamlessly move into the combat, with no loading times in between, testament to the power of the PS5. The demo also allowed me to see, and more importantly feel, how each big battle is distinctively different. As Clive, I faced enemies both big and small, from the garrison soldiers on a more equal footing to 2 large-scale blockbuster battles and a mini-boss fight. All told, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed these real-time action combat systems in Final Fantasy XVI. 16. The influence of Ryota Suzuki, who previously worked on the likes of Devil May Cry 5 and Dragon's Dogma, and how he's helped to shape the feel and style of Clive's battle system is clear, as is how development for the PS5 has allowed for grand cinematic battles designed to hook you in. Throughout my time with Final Fantasy XVI though, what I appreciated most was the effort that's gone into making the action feel approachable and rewarding. In such a short space of time, I was able to feel like I'd really gotten to grips with the system, and the accessories gave me support where I needed it the most. I could see this being a Final Fantasy game that players of all experience levels can jump into comfortably, and with its June 22nd release date now in sight, we don't have much longer to wait to do just that.